Okay, this is another of many videos that I make. And I was looking at how many videos I made. I'm like close to 900. And the reason why I'm making so many videos is because I just form testimonials of what's happening to me. Because unfortunately, as target individuals, the ends are not really well. There are things that do not end well, and so I'm understanding of the reality I'm in, and I understand that this is not like I understand what reality I'm in. It's just that's I've accepted that. I understand that I'm in a program. I'm a human subject where they are developing and research, not even developing a technology that's been ongoing for years. I realize that I'm just thankful that there's such places where you can get all this information, because if I was a target individual maybe before the ability to get on Google and YouTube, it would be hard for, like, it would be so easy to just lose it. You get lost into a fantasy that they create. These people are trying to get you to accept every reality that's falsified. They make you experience nasty things. 2 seconds ago I saw like some kind of like 10, 11-year-old kids, like maybe 12 years old, and they started forcing me to look at this kid in a sexual way. It was just disgusting, giving me sensation feelings, and that's nonstop. If you go back to my first videos, you hear that I talk about what's happening to my brain, my perceptions. All of that is just manipulated in these disturbing ways. They manipulate you to react and perceive and experience things in disgusting ways. Perceptions are manipulated, and it's just nasty. And you hear other people say the same thing, right? They make you look at things in different ways. Children are usually used in the ways that to break you down. Yesterday, I forget that it's obviously other testimonials. I don't spend as much time doing as much looking up for what's testimonials and information about being target individual and what this program is all about. But yesterday I got a chance to watch this video where Robin Duncan and some other target individual went to this like very kind of somewhat public, like known podcast. Not really known, but it's few hundred thousands subscribers, and this video almost got like a half a million of a little over half a million of views, and they're basically describing what we go through. And I like when things are explained in this like very obviously scientific way, and breaks down that what these people are trying to do. They try to break you down. They pattern you. They break you down to create a new version of you, and they want you to identify with this new version that is so nasty. It's so, like, and when I mean nasty, I mean like pedophilia centric. They want to break you. They want you to look at yourself as what they do to you. I think he was saying they try to break the ego, your self-image, right? Who you are, and try to change you into something else. And that's why they do this nastiness over and over and over and over. And they're like, oh, it's you. You're experiencing it. No, I'm not experiencing this natural. This is what you make me experience. It's not natural. And they try to get you to accept. But you think like that if you were like this and that. Or like, and you felt that like that when you were like that. No, you are making me feel this way. It's nasty. And they're like, no, they are. This is part of the scripts to break you down. Because you know yourself. You will not get these feelings. You will not. Something is happening to you. They get you to give you a weird feeling and sensation that you will not naturally have. Your brain feels something's happening when you see these kids. It's so nasty. I will talk about it. I'm actually, matter of fact, I will make a video about that. But they have these ways of just manipulating and giving you feeling and sensations and sexual. It's just, and this person was saying that it's basically at this point is like reality is completely created. Your perceptions can be changed. It's just something they can create. It's an alternate reality. It's disgusting. And they create this and want you to accept that, but it's not natural. It's like, I will not feel this way. This is obviously something in my brain is being done to me. I feel like a weird feeling, a just disgusting feeling. And they're like, you felt like that when you're like, no, you are making me feel this way. You'll make me experience something that I would not experience naturally. And then you try to tell me, but like if you like were like this and then you in that, maybe when you were like that young, maybe like that, you feel like no. You are making me experience an experience that I would not naturally experience. And this is part of the program to break people down with disturbing ways of perceiving children or whatever that will break down people down. With children, this is why it's so systematic. This is why the perfect type of torture is something you keep hearing, because everybody would feel disturbed if they experience these things. That is a tactic that will break everybody down. It's universal. It's always gonna work. You will never feel like, I don't know what kind of strong person can handle that and feel okay and be like, oh, whatever. But it's so hard to just dismiss these things because it's disgusting. And then they try to get you to accept these things. It's nasty. It's nasty. They give you this weird feeling of like intense sensations and then like, oh, and something's happening. It's disgusting. But you gotta accept it. This is what they do. They can make you feel these disturbing things and then try to get you to feel guilty for the things they manipulate you to experience. But you have to understand, you have to maintain reality. They try to create a facade that they want to, this, obviously, this is not some common group of organization of people that's doing this. No. This is military grade weaponry, the most sophisticated weaponry that obviously come from people, like places like the DARPA. Right? This technology derives from these agencies, not 14B. Yeah, of course. It's not a group of like progressive feminists with their millions of dollars. Like, this stupidity. Of course, it's not true. These tactics are so systematic. There's obviously a protocol ways of doing things. It's the same tactics everywhere you hear. They try to make you accept things that are not you. Try to force you to create stimulation, sensation, and aim toward children. This is not new. And these people try to go through the same scripts, try to break you down and say the same thing and over to try to agitate you and break you down. They even say, like, when they were talking, because I hear, like, very young people. I know they involve very young people, right? And this guy who was like, Robin Duncan was like, he interviewed thousands of target individual. That's why in his survey he said almost all of them said something about pedophilia being used as a way to break people down. So you understand that's a very, like he says, a good sample size to show that this is a pattern that they do this pedophilia type of torture. He literally said they make people see child porn in their mind. What do you think? They're gonna make you experience pedophilia things. It's nasty. And so this man was saying, like, one of these people was saying, like, oh, one of the target individuals thought was like a 14-year-old kid that was like on Xbox talking to it. I hear these kids talking to me. You understand? And it's the same thing. It's the same tactics. Try to break you down. When they tell me the horrible things that's going to happen to me, why do you think they're saying that? It's not to warn me. It's to break me down. Because regardless if they're going, then they'll happen. But what do they say this is going to happen to you? It's to break you down and to make you identify with the things they do to you. Oh, this is how you experience this. Oh, they're going to rape you, they're going to torture you, and then you hear them repeat things over and over as if that's going to make you subscribe to it. You understand? They want you to identify with this new persona they've created. And when you don't, it gets worse and worse and worse. And listen to this man breaking down how this is this technology that is literally day in and day out, non-stop, try to mess you, degrade you. And I know he wasn't going explicitly, but he said like this. They say a lot of disturbing things. A lot of disgusting things. That's what they do. They do a lot of disgusting things. It's funny. Before that, I was listening to this woman who's no longer with us, but she definitely talks about the technology of mind control. But I think she went a little too far in a sense. Well, listen, I don't know what else is going on, but I don't believe in this like I don't know, because listen, I focus on the things that I'm experiencing. This woman is talking about aliens and things like that. I mean, to me, I don't believe in that. But it doesn't mean it's not true. I don't care about that because it doesn't affect me. I know that this is not alien doing this thing to me. I know it's the Department of Defense experimenting and researching and developing this technology. They've been doing it for years. I understand that. The rest, I don't care. I don't believe. I don't care to think about it. It's not me. It's not something I can feather. It's not supernatural to me. I understand this. I believe it's 100% technological. These other things. I don't. Now to say that I don't know, but I don't believe it. Right? It's not something I even dwell on. So when they start talking about them, like I kind of like it just becomes something I just kind of tune out. Now, maybe it's something I don't know, but this is what I know is this aspect of what's happening to me, and that's why I like Robert Dawkins, because he kind of say things the way they need to be said, in the sense that he talks about the tactics and this technology the way it should be, because it's not magical. It's not. This aspect is not supernatural. It's this technology that is that sophisticated. At least that's where I stand on that. Now, I I don't I I don't know any. I don't know if it's like if somebody believes otherwise, okay, maybe you know something I don't. But in reality, I obviously know that this is really, they want us. They like to create this, like you said. They try to force people to think that this is something mystical, supernatural, and thing like that. And they want you to get lost in that state of mind instead of reality. They are contracted perps that the government contracts to make people subscribe to this fantasy. And that's what I believe too. They try to get you to think that it's something else. They non-stop try. How, obviously I know who put me in this program, right? You know how much they try to force me to think it's somebody else, and somehow it's like, no, I know. So I can imagine if they were like, oh, we're aliens. This is, like they can make you think this ways, and they try to make themselves laugh in this. I'm like, oh, clown. They're clown. Because I see through it. I see through these people. Jesus, just some bottom feeder. No, I've seen some of them in person. I'm like, oh, God. Yeah, you're such an alien. But that's what they do, right? They try to create this false flagging type of tactics, psyops, and create something that's falsified, right? And he calls that out. He's like, there's a lot of like target individuals that think that it's like a target, like they're aliens or devilish people. I was like, oh, there's just bottom feeders wearing sweatpants right now, doing these things, and they're like, and so I was listening to this woman. She goes into like further, like she's a very smart woman, but she goes into like some other aspect where I don't believe, like, and you see her in my video, like her picture, she talks about how they can change your mind. Now she's a doctor, so she's a well-educated individual, but she does believe in alternate like supernatural things. She thinks that when you die, I think her name is what's Ronnie Clyde, right? Very smart woman. I don't really, nah. After listening to her, I was like, I think some of it is just a little too much for me, at least. I don't believe, like, that's why I will stick with like Robert Dawkins, somebody who can talk to me in this. But she's also very smart. But she talks about the ability those people have, right? And she talks, and you see the videos where she literally said they can change you, make you have a different personality. But they of course have the ability to listen to capture your thoughts in different ways. Even before, like, your intention, your thing, all of that. That's how they have the ability to be able to change you. They obviously have to know you. How can they change somebody they don't know? They override you to feel differently. So she says that, and they're like, oh, you see, we know your intention. That's what these things are like. And they try to come. She literally said, like, they change your mind. They create new personality. But of course, the technology has the ability to obviously read your mind through. If they have the ability to, I feel my conscious, subconscious is being changed. But how are they able to access that? It's because they have to be able to access that to be able to change that. I feel like sometimes they make me think, I'm like, oh, that's not even my thought, but it came from so deep. It's because they have the ability to access this part. This technology is that sophisticated. It goes so deep in your being, and then they start playing with you. To the point I'm realizing, oh my gosh, it feels so deeply like it's just me. Like it felt like it's just so me. You hear somebody say it's so stealthy. It's like they go as if it's your thoughts. It's because they have the ability to access those like. And then you hear people say things right before you say it. So of course, you have access in my brain, so that's how you're able to change me. I haven't been mean to since August 19, 2019, since they have been manipulating my brain and changing me. It make me experience this nasty thing, and they try to create now we excessive pride because we saw that before we got in. We did like they love psyop BS stories. No, you come in my brain, you change me, you manipulate me, you make me experience these disgusting things, and then try to come up with the stories. Now we came in because we saw deep inside. That's how you feel like. They come with the BS like that, and you're supposed to go, oh, you who do the perfect type of torture. Stupidity. Like, no, black girls, because we saw black girls deep, and we come, and it was there. We saw the intention of and they try to get you to think the words and try to get you to connect things that makes no sense. This trash. It's ridiculous. And right now they try to create this like battle in my head. You remember this perp? She said something about intentions, like the perp that works for the program that is renowned for the perfect type of torture. They want you to accept these things. They are trying to break you down and get you to think, you see, it makes sense. No, it makes sense that the people who are renowned to do the perfect type of torture will now force you to experience this nastiness. And they really are trying to get you to break you down and get you to accept this thing in this most illogical ways. And they're part of my brain that is so deep. And so yes, that's what they do. And these people who do this perfect type of torture are going to try to make you accept and identify with these things. And you are not able to think logically. And they're going to try to make you accept these things. I truly think that it makes sense. Imagine a group of people who have been known to be doing this peripheral type of torture, been known to be manipulate people in these disturbing ways, doing nasty things, and all of a sudden saying, no, you see, what we did is like before August 19, 2019, we saw deep inside you. That's how you think. But it was so deep, but we brought it up. You understand this BS, right? These people are trash. They're trying to break you down and make you accept this nonsensicalness. You know that I remember this woman said something about intention, right? And I heard this trash in the hallway yell, intention. You understand this is going to be BS, right? And they say intention. And this woman said they can even know your intention before you, like, because they have so deep into your consciousness that they can get your intention before you know it. They try to use this moment. It's like, okay, so you see that? We know your intention of this pedophilia. That was you. That was the intention all along. You didn't know it, but we knew. And so what we're doing is bringing out this intention, like this kind of stupidity. And they want you to accept this. So almost all target individuals, that's the intention. You understand? They're clowns. And then you hear trash contracted by the government. It's like, lie to yourself. Like, obvious. Oh, no, I'm subscribing to it. You guys are looking deeply for the intention and not manipulate people and not force people to have this disturbing perception. You do not condition the brain. And then it make me think, remember, I used to date somebody who was a perp, and she said something, oh, the intention, but it's all about the intention. And she's like, oh, they found out the intention. It's like, ugh. And just all along she was talking about black little girl. That was the it's BS. It's BS. It's so nasty. And they're like, yes, they knew it was the intention. And try to make me subscribe to this. You see, I proved that you do the pedophilia type of torture systematically. What do you mean? I know that you guys do the pedophilia things. You force me to experience these nasty things. This illogicalness and irrationality is what you guys want me to experience. They make me think of some stupid-ass thing and try to have these battles. But it's good to hear people speaking in the ways that is scientific, that shows the obviousness of what they do. These people create psyops to create a reality that's falsified. Can you imagine? That these people do this pedophilia type of torture, right? And then they try to say, now we protect for our kids. And they torture people to think about kids in these ways. And they tell you, no, it's you, it was that deep in your intentions. They're supposed to break you down to make you accept this new reality they've created. And they try to find ways to correlate things that makes no sense. Or even try to, oh, that's what she meant. Before that, she meant something else. You understand? And I think I know what she meant, but I don't know. It's whatever. I'll talk maybe about it later. And so that's the things. They try to create these stories to come up with reality that's just falsified. And they're gonna try to find something to make them, to try to get you to feel like they validated. There's no validation. You're forcing me to experience these things. You manipulate me to have these pedophilia things. Your job as a contracted perp in this program that is breaking people down to the point where they kill themselves, this is really what they try to do, is push you to kill yourself. That's why people go into mass shootings when they deal with these things. It's because there's people here try to make you accept not only the pedophilia things, then try to make you go crazy, to try to tell you, no, it's you, down they are. These people whose job is to change you into something else. And me, knowing me, I'm not going to subscribe. Of course, I know you guys do the pedophilia type of torture. And these people who are using systematic same tactic that you heard every other people saying. When I say the pedophilia type of torture, somebody said torture. This is the same tactic they do on others. They do the pedophilia type of torture. They try to create fear, anxieties. They manipulate perceptions. They force you to have this pedophilia type of tormenting. They are doing the pedophilia, they use your libido in these pedophilia ways. And they use even childlike people. Somebody literally says she sounds like a 14-year-old kid. It's like, no, they are. Going over and over and saying the same thing. This reality and this fantasy they try to create. Target individual, do not let them change your self-image. These people are involved in a program that is supposed to rewire the brain in the disgusting pedophilia ways or in other ways to break you down and then repattern you in these ways. And they know these things is obvious. When I see them for the low life the government have contracted. They try to play this feminist. They try to play this progressive. All this gimmicky stuff. Try to be all mistakeful. You're not mistakeful. This technology is extremely sophisticated. It's unbelievable. And they try to manipulate you into accepting these things. Tell my target individuals, stay strong. You hear the noise campaign, you hear these things, you hear people outside try to make noise campaign. I'm going to listen to this again because I need to get back to thinking that systematic, tactical way to do things and understand what they do. And they're like, oh, we proved it. They proved that they do the peripheral type of torture. And out of 2,000 men and women who's targeted, almost all of them are saying that they do this peripheral type of torture. Validations are beyond it's beyond validation. They themselves have to dumb themselves down because it's obvious. They force men and women to experience things they will never experience and then try to make them identify with the things that they're forced to experience and try to create logic that is just illogical. And they then try to make noise campaign and do all these things to try to get you to accept this. I think I'll put the link of the video. I think you should all try to look at it and watch and understand as target individual what we have to go through.